I am Greedo, and today I want to talk about the state of Bethesda gaming in 2026, particularly Creation Club content, or creations, and showcase a few for good measure starting in Starfield. So despite a lot of negativity surrounding it, I feel like I'm an outlier and that I don't particularly dislike creations as a whole, and I think they can and do add a lot of high quality gameplay features to Bethesda titles. Particularly, I think Starfield has done a great job with them. So I'd like to start by doing my best to showcase some of these creations for people to decide if it's worth their precious shekels or not. Enjoy these 5 brief creation reviews and let me know if there's any creations that you want me spending my hard-earned money on in the coming weeks to then decide if it's worthy of your hard-earned money. Enjoy. So let's get started with my personal favorite creation, Falkland System Ship Services by Hjalmir for 500 credits. It is a hefty ship mod that adds 6 different ships, particularly 2 at 3 different tiers, along with a headquarters and numerous hab ship parts at your disposal, as well as a few clothing items. Based on the Star Wars Outrider and the Star Wars Ebon Hawk, the Falkland Kestrel and the Falkland Swift are absolute must-haves personally for my playthroughs. They're thoughtfully designed vessels that show off everything the creation has to offer, while also being somewhat expensive. And I prefer having to work for my items or creations in-game instead of just being fed them, because that allows me to feel a sense of accomplishment and also not just get given everything at the beginning of the game. Each platform, the Kestrel and the Swift, have 3 tiers, and here's some footage showcasing the tier 3 ships. I prefer the mod for the pre-builds because I'm a filthy casual, but if shipbuilding is your thing, Falkland also adds a huge collection of new structural components, cockpits, habs, modules, reactors, weapons, furniture, and decorative pieces that let you build ships with a complete different visual style. So instead of the classic industrial look, pop sci-fi that we're kind of getting, punk sci-fi, excuse me, these are a lot more sleek, high-end sci-fi aesthetic that you'd see similar in like Star Wars, hence where they came from. Overall, I think this is a phenomenal creation, and for 500 credits, I think it's worth it. As early as I can afford them in my gameplays, they're all I'm rocking with. The next creation we're looking at is At Hell's Gate by Bethesda Game Studios for free. And this is also an extremely enjoyable creation in my opinion, especially for being free. It introduces a new Praetor suit, a shotgun being the super shotgun, a new melee weapon being the crucible sword, and 6 new plushies, all obviously based on Doomslayer or Doom. All items are attained via a short quest line where you get to infiltrate a cult. Quest begins organically by interacting with one of the SSNN broadcast pillars, and when you approach, it glitches out and then a distress signal kicks off for the entire mission. And so you're investigating the mysterious incident involving a missing crew and facility that has gone completely silent, and very quickly it kind of turns into more of like a horror genre. I think the small world that they create to house this mod is phenomenal. The aesthetic is very unique, and despite being very short, the quest is immersive and difficult enough that it makes you feel like you earned it. Emphasis on that, and you'll see that a little bit. It leans into a horror and tension in a way that feels closer to classic Doom level design, because it is, and the environments are darker, more claustrophobic, and the pacing shifts away from the usual exploration. I think the first half of the creation leads you to crawl through a cultist's HQ, and once you locate the Praetor armor and the Crucible sword, it opens a portal to a second phase of enemies, and like I said, it's difficult enough that makes you feel like you earned it. Overall, for a free Bethesda creation, I think it's a fun little horror questline, and it offer some sweet endgame rewards. In the majority of my new game playthroughs, I'm continuing to use the super shotgun and the crucible sword. Maybe not the armor, but for what it is, the items feel earned, and the questline itself is enjoyable enough because of its uniqueness. Officers, this is it. This is the one. For creation number 3, I'm talking about Trackers Alliance, the complete bounty series for 700 credits. In my opinion, this is the best creation spanning all of Bethesda games. With so much content within, it'd be improbable to try to cover everything in a short 3 to 5 minute segment, so I'll be trying to defer individual contracts to a different video, but I'd be remiss mentioning some of the better aspects of the Creation Club without mentioning the best aspect of the Creation Club being Trackers Alliance. It expands one of Starfield's, in my opinion, one of their more promising post-launch factions into a fully realized bounty hunting campaign, and while I understand a lot of what I'm showcasing is included in the base game, the 7 contracts that it adds, they're all phenomenal, and I highly recommend getting them. What began as a single mission has grown into a collection of these contracts. They all feature different gameplay mechanics, utilizing different functions of the game that were included in the base game, with their own story, memorable characters, moral choices, and all unique locations. And while they include Radiant missions, this creation delivers, in my opinion, cinematic investigations, tense confrontations, and rewarding hunts that send you across the settled systems in pursuit of some of the galaxy's most dangerous criminals. The bundle includes every official Trackers Alliance mission, beginning with the Star Tracker, which you're seeing here, and then continuing on through the paid Vulture, the Lovers, Mr. Oni, the Widow, the Fallen Hero, and Return of the Starjacker Part 2. Each bounty offers a self-contained narrative while contributing to the larger identity of the Trackers Alliance, giving players meaningful choices that extend beyond just eliminating the target. The first one being the Starjacker, your initiation into the Trackers Alliance. It's Hannibal Eutropio. He is a ship thief responsible for a wave of stolen spacecraft across the settled systems. Investigative bounty that teaches the core bounty hunting mechanics while letting you decide whether justice means capture or execution. The Vulture is a former elite military sniper that's gone rogue, leaving a trail of political assassinations in his wake. The contract blends detective work, combat, and multiple investigation paths before culminating in a tense confrontation where your choices determine how the hunt ends. The Lovers are 2 infamous criminals that have built their reputation as partners in both crime and romance. What appears to be a straightforward double bounty quickly becomes a morally gray story where nothing is quite as simple as the case file suggests. And Oni is the hunt shifts in the criminal underworld as you pursue a powerful drug trafficker tied to the Syndicate, who is distributing a deadly new strain of Aurora. Expect undercover investigations, urban firefights, and one of the longest, most cinematic missions in the series. If you spared the Vulture earlier, this mission even features unique crossover interaction. The Widow, a string of mysterious deaths on Neon point towards a conspiracy involving Ryujin. Rather than focusing purely on combat, this contract leans heavily into detective work, uncovering secrets hidden beneath Neon's corporate facade before relieving the identity of the elusive Widow. The Fallen Hero, or the Mantis, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Someone has stolen the mantle of the Mantis using the legendary vigilante's reputation to spread fear and violence across the settled systems. Your investigation uncovers a dangerous imposter whose actions threaten one of Starfield's most iconic legends, culminating in one of the series' biggest set-piece missions. And then Return of the Starjacker. The finale brings the entire bounty series full circle as Hannibal Eutropia resurfaces. Old allies, resolved questions, and long-running story threads converge in a cinematic final hunt that ties together the overarching narrative of the Trackers Alliance and provides a satisfying conclusion to the bounty saga. Beyond the main contracts, the creation also enhances the overall bounty hunting experience with continued access to the Trackers Alliance headquarters in Aquila City, repeatable bounty board missions, and additional resources. An additional resource called Astra, similar to the currency of the Mandalorian, which rewards you unique items exchangeable at Aquila City. If it wasn't made apparent, all 7 contracts have their own unique rewards, from individual armor sets like the Mantis Part 2, and then player housing like the Oni contract. If there is any creation I'd recommend getting it is 100% the Trackers Alliance. Highly recommend. The last 2 installments are much shorter Bethesda creations, but ones I'd figure I'd throw in to get a holistic view of what you can expect to find on both sides of the creations, especially being they are from Bethesda Game Studios both. The first one is the Starborn Gravis suit by Bethesda Game Studios for free. It is, again, one of their free official creations for Starfield, giving players access to a powerful new variant of the Starborn armor without requiring New Game Plus. Unlike the standard Starborn suits earned by traveling through the Unity, the Gravity suit is available from the very beginning of a playthrough, making it one of the strongest early game pieces of equipment in the game. It functions as an all-in-one spacesuit combining the suit, helmet, and boost pack, similar to all the other Starborn suits. Like the other Starborn suits, it comes with 3 random legendary effects, meaning every copy can roll a different combination of bonuses. In order to find it, all you have to do is just travel to the Lodge in New Atlantis, and it is in your bedroom. You'll find it inside a briefcase or placed on the floor at the foot of your bed. And so while it is free and an excellent armor choice for a clean, updated Starborn aesthetic, my biggest gripe with this creation is the lack of effort in installing it into the universe. I understand it's free, but Bethesda went ahead and dropped it in one of the most familiar locations in the game and made a extremely powerful, if not the most powerful item in the game, available at level 1. So while it is free, I can't say I personally have ever really used it all that much besides just giving it to my companions. I think its in existence in and of itself breaks immersion pretty heavily and can undermine the already established gameplay progression. But if it's something that toots your horn, it's a pretty unique armor set, looks really nice, and would be something good to get because it's free. And the last creation we're going to be talking about is the Blackout weapon skins, also by Bethesda Game Studios, also for free. It's another very basic creation, adding Blackout skins equipable to a select few early game weapons like the Equinox, the Shoddy, the Big Bang, Drumbeat, Kodama, Hard Target, and the Grendel. Compared to other games, I don't feel like the labor of love has really been showcased by Bethesda in this game, particularly weapon mods, or rather weapon skins. While recently it's been improved slightly, as you can see as I'm going through some of these, overall I don't feel like there's a ton of unique customization compared to games like Fallout 4, the Fallout 4 creations. So this is just another installment where Bethesda is trying to up those creations by adding all black skins. So in order to equip these skins, all you have to do is acquire the weapon, visit any weapon workbench, and then scroll to the skin category with that weapon, and then pick the Blackout one. It costs no resources and can be done as often as you like. So is it worth downloading? If you enjoy customizing your gear, the Blackout weapon skins are an easy recommendation. It's free, it's integrated into the base game, the modification system, and it gives weapons a new appearance. So if you're trying to create a unified professional looking arsenal while staying true to the visual style, download it. That being said, I wish, like I have a theme and I'll continue to have a theme of, I wish it was felt a little more earned, but I can understand why they just wanted to throw the item in as kind of a gimme. So like I said, overall, Bethesda has done a pretty good job with creations in my opinion, particularly for Starfield. You can hate on the paid mods, and some of them are egregiously overpriced, but for what they have produced so far, I'm a fan. And even so, there are plenty of more mods available, both official and unofficial, that I think are worth checking out, and I'm excited to showcase in the coming weeks. For this first iteration, I just wanted to showcase more of the general Bethesda-based ones for the most part. So if you're interested in seeing more, subscribe and feel free to leave a comment with any creations you'd like me to buy and try out, and I'll get right on that. This has been Geronimo, and thank you for watching.